Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman, and we're broadcasting today from our studios at the Capital Region International Airport. We're going to run cross-state, as a matter of fact, over to Grand Rapids, and Greg Collette's going to join us. He's the Vice President of Marketing Technology with HR Collaborative. And Greg, let me ask you a little bit about what you are. Just explain to everybody, because we're in the initiation here stage.
Yeah. Thanks, Chris. And thanks for having me on. Excited to be here. So HR Collaborative, we are a fractional HR consulting firm founded out here in Grand Rapids in over a decade ago. We provide a number of HR consulting and staffing services and recruiting as well to organizations of all sizes, industries across the state and across the region and even across the nation.
Well, it's kind of interesting because I know you're part of the Kinexus umbrella right now, and we love Todd, love that group, have worked with him in many different levels. But your history goes back a little farther than that.
Yeah. So we were Kinexus Group acquired HR Collaborative in March of this year. But the business was originally founded, like I said, 11 years now ago by Beth Kelly right here in Grand Rapids. And so over that time, we've served over 600 clients and continue to grow our client base and continue to grow our size and our impact. So we're really excited to be a part of the Kinexus Group now, though, too, and be a part of their focus on economic, workforce, and community development.
Oh, it's an incredible thing, and you really fit well into their scope of services, so to speak. So, human resources, that means a lot of things to business, from staffing agencies, synergy service for keeping talent, employee information, and productivity, all those things. Where does your company fall in that range?
Yeah, it's a great question. I like to joke that oftentimes when we start talking to potential clients or businesses, they kind of have two, and most people kind of have two mindsets of what HR is. Either they are the policy police or they're the party planners. And HR can be so much more than either one of those things. And really, HR can be and should be a strategic business partner and be there to help businesses really elevate their workforce and their talent strategy. You think about it, most businesses, their employee expenses are one of their top three largest expenses that they have in their budget. And so even a few percentage changes in how you allocate those resources and how you invest those resources can make a huge difference on the impact of your business. And so that's where HR Collaborative comes in. We provide fractional HR consulting services, and we really work with businesses to help them think through how they can best invest their people spend.
You know, it's interesting you bring that up, Greg. I've always told people, every time I have an HR person come in to talk about HR, it scares the heck out of everybody in the room because, especially in the small business sector, we violate and don't know we're violating because of some of the regulations. Do you find that to be the case?
Yeah. So a lot of businesses, we work with every shape and size business, but a lot of the businesses that we often work with are usually second stage businesses that are about 40 FTEs. They're growing, and they know at 50 FTEs, a number of regulations are going to kick in. Whether they know it's ACA or Obamacare or, whatever it is, they just know that they're about to hit that threshold when a significant employment law change happens. And so we come in and help businesses think through that foundation of how do they make sure that they have a solid foundation for HR. But we also work with them to think about compliance from a risk mitigation perspective. You're never going to fully get rid of risk. And as a business, you have to make those decisions on when you're going to to invest heavily in mitigating it? When are some ones that you are okay? And so we work with businesses and business leaders to help understand what the risk is and then assess what their appetite for risk is and how to manage that risk appropriately.
Well, and sometimes it comes down to, is it cost effective to make
Mhm.
the right decision too? You know what I mean? So, what's coming up here? What are the big issues in 20, what were the big issues in 2024 from an HR perspective?
Yeah, we have some perennial favorites, retention, recruiting, labor shortages, training managers, especially in a hybrid environment. A lot of managers feel ill-equipped in that kind of environment. Um, AI in HR, what does that mean? What do you do with it? But for the second half of the year, going back to worry and risk, there are a lot of compliance law changes, ESTA, Iowa. FLSA salary threshold. That's what we're going to be primarily talking with businesses to prepare them for 2025.
Well, you got Transparency Act and all kinds of things coming up. So that's why we need professionals like you, Greg. All right. Hey, Greg Collette, Vice President of Marketing and Technology at HR Collaborative in Grand Rapids. Thanks for joining us. We're going to be calling on your expertise in the future here, buddy, because there's a lot to do.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Chris. Really appreciate it.
You have a good one. You've been watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman.